Somebody who has been very interested in our campaign and who has supported us a lot is Councillor Andrew Simcock of Manchester City Council. And Andrew was heavily involved with our Emmeline campaign, and he's got something he wants to talk to us about. Hello, Andrew.
Hello, Susan. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. I hope you are too.
Yep. Good. So, well, first of all, thank you for inviting me to come on and talk about, first of all, our Emmeline project, but then I was hoping that I might be able to take things to the next level. And you can see it, I've got with me my maquette of the Emmeline Pankhurst statue. That, of course, was a very important element of the fundraising for the campaign in the first place, because we sold 12 of these and made a pretty good sum of money for the campaign as we were getting going. And I think fundraising clearly in the new environment is going to be one of the key challenges that all statue campaigns of all types will be struggling with. So I thought, rather than just talk about our Emmeline Pankhurst campaign, that statue will have now been in place for 18 months, and in fact I've just gone through the first phase of having it cleaned. We had Lucy Branch from Antique Bronze came up and cleaned the statue to great excitement. A lot of people were very interested in what she was doing, and we've had the meeting circle cleaned as well. So I think one of the messages I've taken away from that is the importance of not just raising money for the statue, but what happens next? Who owns the statue? Who cleans it? Who maintains it? And at the moment, I'm still working on the transfer agreement for going across to the City Council, because I want to make sure, long after I've gone, that statue is still being cared for. So in the last few months, following the Emmeline Pankhurst campaign, I've been down in London quite a bit. I've been meeting people from the Government Equality Office, I've been meeting members of Parliament, and I've been meeting people who used to be Secretaries of State and chairs of committees in Parliament to talk about how we go about recognising more women with statues in the coming years. And I've got to be realistic, today is May the 19th. We're a long way from the coronavirus pandemic response being complete, and it would make no sense not to realise that statues of women must take a backseat to fighting the virus. That said, at least we can be planning campaigns and discussing the topic. And here you can see that very early on in the pandemic, somebody came along and equipped Emmeline with her own mask. My suggestion that I've been working on is that in order to celebrate the centenary of equal suffrage 8 years from now, that we have a project to create 50 new statues of women around the UK over the period from now to 2028. That would effectively double the number of statues of named individual women in the UK. The funding for that would come from philanthropists, individuals, companies, plus an element of matched funding from the government. And it could take the form of a competition amongst members of Parliament, their local communities and councils. They perhaps would nominate the women to be recognised. I think it's worth bearing in mind in this context that the Government Equality Office ran their very successful fund in 2018 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of the original 1918 Act. And that's how the statue of Emmeline Pankhurst came to be funded, partly by them, but also partly by organisations like Manchester Airport, which of course now is very badly hit by the COVID crisis. There are already some campaigns underway for statues of women, and there you can see, second from the bottom, Elizabeth Elmy Wolstenholme, but there are other campaigns around the country, Ellen Wilkinson in Middlesbrough, and what I've done there is list who the MP is for the area. Andy MacDonald is the Middlesbrough MP. I would expect him to be championing, hopefully, Ellen Wilkinson for funding. And then you've got various other members of Parliament around the country. And then I've been doing some research on statues that we could potentially have based on my research. There will definitely be others. And I'll be very interested to hear what organisations like Invisible Women think of this list. It's driven partly by the fact that I'm trying to spread this around the country. So you'll see, for example, the very first name on the list there, Molly Badham, who is a zoologist. Her Member of Parliament is Nigel Huddleston, who is the Minister for Tourism with a constituency in mid-Worcestershire. You've also got other people like Octavia Hill, North East Cambridgeshire, Wisbech, Stephen Barclay, and I've tried to build in some of the names from the north of England, those so-called red wall constituencies that became conservative. And so, for example, you've got Jean Hayward from Blythe, who you may remember from her performances in When the Boat Comes In. And there are other people on the list as well. So there's my starter for 10. There will definitely be other names around the country, and that maybe is one of the consequences of this campaign that we can kick off. It's hard to see when normality will be returning, certainly in the next few months. But I think if in 2021 we made a date to all meet up, I think that would be a very good outcome from this campaign.
Well, I am thrilled by that news. That's really exciting. We are definitely going to have this statue, no doubt about it.